Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Earth and Sten. And happy Monday. Today is March 1st, and I'm feeling super blessed and super thankful to be here. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about a few different things. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. I wanted to start with this because this is something that's been on my heart. I think when you're taking the path that's less traveled, you feel like you need a lot of validation. And I think oftentimes we get online and we looking for that validation because we know that we're off key. You know what I mean? Like we're off key, like we're not really living in our purpose. We're not really living in truth, and we're scared, and we kind of just want to be recognized for something. We want to be recognized for our hard work, right? Because at the end of the day, it's that we're putting in, you know what I mean? I think what people don't really tell you is that in life, it's really just about fulfillment. You know what I mean? I don't think that people really tell you that. I don't think that people, because, society in itself is about wealth. Right. It's about the attainment of wealth. It's about money, and it's about how much of that can you make? You know what I mean? And we're then told that it's that's going to bring us fulfillment. It's that's going to bring us happiness. And you have people who will genuinely say, oh, I know that money will not make me happy. Right. But the thing is that they don't really believe it. And so they go after it, and it's just continuous. And I think that so often we are just so ready to present ourselves in such a way that's not true. And I think that life right there just leads to misery. You know what I mean? Being authentic is probably one of the greatest gifts. And I think for myself in my career, as an artist, I think that that's probably one of the things that I am most grateful for, and something I'm just really proud of. You know what I mean? Like I sit back and I just kind of watch how everybody's kind of looking for that validation. And it's scary, right? Because at the end of the day, this whole new wave of like entrepreneurship and, all these things, you guys, this is new. This is so new. And here's what I found just from my research and, looking at content creators and all of these different things. Because this is all so new, many people don't have skin in the game, right? Like these are young kids who are, yes, talented and knowledgeable and, all of those things in their field. But at the end of the day, nobody's an expert, right? But I think that we want to portray ourselves as that expert. And what I found is like a lot of the information that's been passed around is regurgitated. You know what I mean? And people don't really know what works and what doesn't work. It's just working right now. Right. And so like, I think when I look at that, it just kind of blows my mind in a sense, because I just think overall it's just so phony. It's just so phony. And it's like, you're never really going to have a true sense of peace and fulfillment within your life if you are just somebody who's off key and like you're not really doing it for your purpose. You know what I mean? I think we've been taught to think that, if we attain this or if we attain that, then we're going to have all of this. And it's just not true. I don't think people even tell you, like, if you're doing something that you don't love, at the end of the day, like if you create that life for yourself, that's going to be your life. And if it's really something that you really don't enjoy, like, for example, for myself, I tell you guys all the time, I love my journey. It is so tailored to me. It is so true to me. And I just love the person that I'm becoming. I give myself the space to be immature. I give myself the space to grow. I give myself the space to heal, to be human, to be young. You know what I mean? Like I give myself the room to be in those spaces. You know what I mean? But yet I still am in pursuit of what it is that I want to do. But, for me, like I said, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could kind of say it was the ability to kind of like quantum jump. I felt what it was like to be successful and to do all of these things, but I didn't really feel like a sense of fulfillment. So it was like, okay, I knew that may not have been the path that I wanted to take. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, starting right here in this moment, I do what it is that I love. And I think for me, like I'm really blessed. And I definitely think that I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky to know what it is that I love and to do it every day. You know what I mean? And to be in that space. And it's like, it just feels amazing. Anything outside of that, I instantly kind of turn away from. You know what I mean? And even though I don't necessarily know like the end goal, right? Like I have my plans, but like I know the universe is going to do its thing and God's going to do his thing. But like seeing it all kind of unfold is so beautiful to me. And it feels good to know that I'm really right on key with what it is that I'm called on earth to do. You know what I mean? And I'm not just chasing after something just to chase after something and just to say that I'm this or say that I'm that for that validation, and I feel very blessed to know that at the end of the day, I'm really going to live a full life. and I'm really going to have peace because I have peace now. You know what I mean? Like, and to me, it's something that's just like, I'm just so thankful. And so I feel like anytime, as an artist, you feel like you're sitting on your talent, I will honestly say, like, take advice and listen to people who are doing what it is that you're doing. And I'm not talking about doing it as in the sense of like they just started doing it. I'm talking about they're doing it and they've already done it and they're already in a space that you want to be in. You know what I mean? Listen to the journeys of these people. I don't think that this by any means is, hocus pocus. I don't think that it's not possible for you to achieve your goals within a certain amount of time. But man, when I say I'd just be so thankful for that foundation for my life. I never wanted to enter into rooms and just be ill prepared. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be in those spaces. And I even think for myself, it was so much work that I had to do within me, and it's continuous, right? But I had to really lay a foundation for my life, very insecure, very soft spoken. There were just a lot of things that I was dealing with mentally to where it was like, I couldn't go after those things, even if I wanted to, right? I was telling my friend this, I'm like, when it comes to homelessness, and a lot of people who are impoverished, you guys, it's a psychological thing, right? Like wealth is a psychological thing. Like it's not, it's never really based on just action solely, you know what I mean? And so I wanted a foundation for my life. Like that was everything. I never wanted to be moved by rumors. I never wanted to feel like I needed to perform for anybody. I wanted to have the courage to stand in my truth and the courage to say what it is that I mean. And I wanted to be respected for that. You know what I mean? I wanted self-respect. That was my thing. And so I think a big part of when it comes to your journey and you feel like you're sitting on your talent, you got to get your core beliefs and values in place before you're ready to present yourself to the world. Most importantly, preparation. I knew for myself, man, this was so major. These times that I was in and just the journey in itself, it was people work. I had to learn how to deal with people. Unfortunately, you have people in the world who are going to take advantage of you. That's just their heart. That's just where they're at. You can't do nothing about that. You know what I mean? But you got to learn how to deal with people. And I think for me, it was that was the coursework, because like I said, I always knew what it is that I wanted to do, even though, I kept God first. I let God, have his way in my life as well. But me knowing what it is that I wanted to do, I also knew the back end work of that. You know what I mean? As far as the foundation. And so I say to anybody, when it feels like you're sitting on talent, really look at the bigger picture. You got to be real with yourself, of course, right? You can't say, oh, I feel like I'm sitting on my talent and, you're not really doing anything. You're not producing. You're not creating. Of course, in that case, you're sitting on your talent. But when you feel like you're sitting on your talent and you're moving forward and you're working on your craft and you're doing it every day, you know what I mean? At that point, it's preparation and it's just a matter of time before it takes off for you. You know what I mean? But it's so easy to just get caught up in this rat race. Me personally, I feel like, anything that kind of comes too soon, I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't really know how I would feel about that because I feel like, can this withstand? You know what I mean? What is the long-term goal of this short success that I've acquired? You know what I mean? Where can I take this? And of course you have to be a long-term thinker, but I just think overall, man, don't get so caught up in this space because I'm telling you overall, it's nobody really knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? So don't feel like you're behind. You know what I mean? Just keep God first and just really focus on your craft, focus on what it is that you need to do to better yourself. You know what I mean? What kind of person do you want to be? I think that's the biggest thing, focusing on who you want to be and just staying true to yourself. I knew, very early on in my life that I was not average. I knew very early on in my life that I wanted to acquire success. I knew very early on in my life that I was very peculiar. It was very different. And, it's been such a joy to find myself continuously through my talents that I didn't even know that I had, giftings. It's such a blessing. And I feel so grateful to be able to even step into the spaces that I'm in and share that with people. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just was in no rush, man. I felt like everything for me was on track. And I think that this is the thing about this walk. If you're going to go after your gifts, if you're going to go after, you know what I mean, what it is that you love, you guys, it's truly a faith walk. You know what I mean? It's truly a faith walk. And at the end of the day, don't pursue anything that is short term, that is going to be a long term distraction. It's going to be a long term, it's going to bring you pain. Because it's not going to be a life that's going to be worth living. It's going to be a life that's so demanding, you know what I mean? And then it's not going to be true to who you are. Unless, of course, that's the life you want. You know what I mean? Unless, of course, that's the life you want. But I think, really just kind of step back and recognize that, and also understand too, like, whatever you do, whenever you're creating a life for yourself, you need to think long term. So whatever foundation, if it's built on a faulty foundation now, just know that that's going to result in what later? You know what I mean? I don't have to spell it out. You know what I mean? But I just think overall, like, don't be afraid to stand in your truth, and don't be afraid if you feel like, things aren't taking off for you as quickly as you feel like they should be. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's such a beautiful thing to allow God to work within you. You know what I mean? For the spaces in which you hope to enter into. I think that that's like, that to me, that's grace. Like, I think that is so grace. And I think, when it comes to advice and counsel, you guys, don't let anybody think for you. My dad tells me all the time, he says, you're so hard-headed. You're so hard-headed. Let me say this. It wasn't that I was hard-headed. It wasn't that I was ignorant. For me personally, I wanted to make my own decisions because I never wanted to live a life of regret. I wanted to make my own decisions. I wanted to fail, right? If I had to hit my head to learn something, that's fine. Let me learn my lessons the way I'm going to learn my lessons. You know what I mean? I think when you allow people to think for you and you allow people to just dictate so many different ways and things you should do, like how you should do things, it just takes away from who you really are. It takes away from the journey and the person that you're going to become had you gone through that. Wisdom really comes from God. You have people, and then everybody's got this, this commentary that, everybody's reading the same books, everybody, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, wisdom really comes from God, and it comes from learning from your own mistakes and from your own experiences. You know what I mean? Like, most people are getting up here and they're just telling y'all what sounds good that they heard the next person say. It's like, who's really speaking in their truth? You know what I mean? Like, social media has got the reality so distorted. And I just wanted to get on here and let anybody know, like, straight up, you know what I mean? Stay your course, stay your course and continue to do what's true for you and what makes sense to you. Because at the end of the day, your journey is so tailored. And, you got to get real about what it is that you want. I tell you guys this all the time, you know what I mean? And why you do what you do. Somebody said, I said, well, I feel like if you really enjoy doing something, it's not going to be such a stress and strain. And they said, oh, well, no, not really. It's still going to be, stress and strain. And I said, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm living it and I know it. It's not stressful for me to get on here and make a podcast. I don't get stressed out when I have to read a book, and I love reading. And, I'm not stressed out if I want to go for a run. You know what I mean? I'm not stressed out when I want to create something. I'm not stressed out when I'm painting. I'm not stressed. Like, writing Seasons, my book Seasons, that wasn't stressful. And this is why I say it's so important to learn on your own, like, sign off and just stop letting so many people speak into your life. You know what I mean? Because everybody just is not tailored to do that. Everybody's not equipped to do that. You know what I mean? And what you're going to find, unfortunately, it's going to be a long-term thing. But most people are just, hey, we're all learning together. More like I said, most people have no idea what it is that they're even talking about. So just be mindful of that and never be afraid to think for yourself. You don't need to be validated for that. Okay, if you were wrong, and you were wrong. You learn from it and you move forward. You know what I mean? But I'd much rather think for myself personally and make my own decisions and fail, learn, get up. But at least I know that I'd earned my stripes. You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather do it that way than to be in a space of just like, it's just all of this regurgitated information. Like I said, like, it's unnecessary. And so, in summary, you guys, when it comes to feeling like you're sitting on your talent, just know that it's preparation. Look at your life and realize what have I done differently? What do I need to do differently? For a lot of people, I think, hanging around certain people, I think that kind of makes a difference. You know what I mean? Maybe God's just waiting on you to make that move. I think a lot of times it's like risk taking as well. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I listened to Kirby John and from Paramoss, and it was so funny because he's like, do the opposite. And I think that it was never even intentional that I would do the opposite, but at the same time, just like anytime I tried to really do something that wasn't true to myself, I could never do it. I could never really give it my best. And for a long time, I thought that there was something wrong with me. I'm like, dang, am I lazy? Like, why is it so hard for me? But I'm like, nah, because man, when I'm committed to something that I love and when I really want to do something, I can do it. You know what I mean? And like, despite everything, I can do it and I'm willing to do it. You know what I mean? And so I encourage everybody to, consider the consequences and like take risk, you know what I mean? And do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like when I quit my job back in like I don't even know. I think that was almost like 2 years ago. But yeah, I quit my job and I was like living in my car. It was a mess. Honestly, it really was a mess. But like the things that I learned, the type of person that I became, like it was just so crazy, you guys. Like, and I think about it when you're in those spaces, it's like, it's so crazy because you can never really see your way out. But I think when you take it day by day, you know what I mean? Like, it's so beautiful. And I say that to say, I knew the consequences of me quitting my job. Like, I knew the situation that was going to put me in, but I did it anyway because I wanted the rewards that came from that. You know what I mean? And so overall, make your own decisions and be real with yourself. Like, are you really sitting on your talent, or are you really just in a space of preparation? You know what I mean? Like, are you ready for the recognition that you desire? And, you know, you got to be real with yourself about that too. Like, why do you want this recognition? You feel like because you've been the underdog and you just ready for somebody to say, hey, look at me. You know, are you going to become a puppet? Are you going to, like, you got to be real about these things. You know, I think that these are the questions that you should be asking yourself when you're sitting in this space. And then, you know, of course, being real about what it is that you want and looking at, you know, when you're online, I think it's easy to tap into other people's lives and say, oh, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. But it just takes away from your own creativity. So be real about your dreams and your goals as well, you know. Yeah, just relax. You know, I think we always talk about how life is so short, but nobody's ever really willing to live it. You know, everybody is we're all just so ready for the next thing. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's ever really, and of course I fall victim to this as well, but I'm just, you know, hey, I'm speaking to all of us. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're never really in a space where we're actually going to live the life. Like, we're just like, okay, yeah, life is short. Oh yeah. But then it's like, we're back at the same thing. We're back in the rat race. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. And so, I think another thing too is to ask yourself, like, where would you, I asked my friend this, I said, you know, where would your life be if social media was not a thing? You know, many people say, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so crazy because it's like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And, you know, just don't ever feel discouraged. Just know that if it's really something that God has given you, if it's really like a gift that God's given you and you really want to use it and apply it, you know, he'll do that for you. So just keep God close. And yeah, this was kind of long, but that was just something on my heart that I just kind of wanted to share with people. I feel like we have these conversations a lot, but you know, honestly, I know that people learn through repetition. So I try to be very repetitious in a sense of like lessons that I want to share with people because I want you guys to like get it and know it and just like let it be true. But y'all heard the peace in my voice. You know what I mean? Y'all feel that. You know what I mean? Like, this is what life is about for me. Like, to me, that's more fulfilling than anything. You know, who wants to be rich and stressed out? Who wants to be rich and miserable? You know, and then I think what's so funny is, like, don't get me wrong, I think that we all have to start somewhere, but everybody's on this whole 6-figure wave. Like, that's crazy. That's not even like, okay, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I hope everybody has a great day and stay true to yourself. Please stay true to yourself. Don't feel like you need to switch lanes. Don't feel like you need to do anything that God ain't called you to do, anything that you're not propelled to do. You know what I mean? Just stay true to yourself. And I hope everybody has a great day and happy March because, I don't know, it's Easter. Easter is this month. I was going to say, what's the holiday this month? No, I think Easter is in April. I don't know. But I'm going to leave you guys with your thoughts.